Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
everyone,
everyone,
and
and
welcome to
welcome to
today's
today's
episode of
episode of
I
I
Am the
Am the
Universe.
Universe.
And I'm
And
going to
I'm
try
going
to
to try
talk
to talk
less
less
because I
because I
cannot figure
cannot
out
figure
how to
out
make
how to make
my
my
microphone
microphone
stop
stop
echoing.
echoing.
So
So
I'm going to
I'm
turn it
going to
over
turn it
to
over to
our
our
guest
guest
today.
today.
My name is
My name
Martin
is Martin
Cowart, and we're
Cowart, and
waiting
we're
on
waiting on
our
our
co-host
co-host
Ali to come
Ali to
in
come in
from
from
Conca. He's having
He's
some
having some
difficulty with the
difficulty with the
network.
network.
But
But
our guest
our guest
today, thank
today,
goodness,
thank
is
goodness,
Shekinah
is Shekinah
Rose, and
Rose,
she's
and
very
she's very
familiar. She can run this
familiar.
podcast.
She can run this
So
podcast. So
everything happens for a reason.
everything happens for a reason.
And this echo is
And this
driving me
echo is
crazy.
driving me crazy.
I'm just going to
I'm
turn
just
the
going to
mic
turn
over
the
to
mic over
Shekinah
to
and
Shekinah
say,
and say,
run with it. It's
run
all
with it.
about
It's
you
all about you
anyway.
anyway.
So just
So
share
just
your
share your
story, teach
story,
us about
teach us about
manifesting, and let's
manifesting,
just
and let's
have some
just have
fun,
some fun,
okay?
okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, Martin. And hi, everyone. My name is Shekinah Rose. I use she, her pronouns. And I want to welcome you all here today to hear a little bit about my journey, as well as like learn about, in case you haven't heard, about how to manifest what you want in your life. And so I'm going to begin at the beginning of where my journey began. I'm a person living, surviving, and thriving now 38 plus years with HIV/AIDS. And so back in the day when I first acquired HIV, I was working in Los Angeles for a corporation during the night, and I found myself having to take care of my partner who was in the early stages of transitioning. And so I would take care of him during the day, and at nighttime, I would be working full time. And then in the early morning, when all of the morning staff would come in, I would find myself standing amongst people who had no idea that my partner was passing away, and I was having to experience AIDS jokes in the workplace. We didn't have any rights during that time, so there was no way for me to address the stigma and the discrimination that I was feeling. It was horrible. It was really painful. And I can recall standing in the room in which I was working, and I just like, I was in my heart space, and I was very troubled, and I was not wanting for this experience to ever happen again, like the rest of my life. And I was like in a space of determination and love to say, this is enough. I want another way of living. And so I was like 23 when I started to learn how to manifest. I didn't realize at the time that's what I was doing, but I certainly like saw how it happened. And I kept going, I don't know how this happened, but I'm gonna like do it again. And so I began to like manifest things in my life. And I recognized that my life got so much better just knowing that I was doing it. I was the one responsible for me. I took charge of my life under horrendous conditions, and I've never looked back. And so that's what I'm here today talking with Martin and all of you around, is how to manifest what you want in your life. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what manifestation is. And so it's a fairly easy endeavor once you really understand all of the how it works, basically. So, you know, we all have born into this world with the whole idea of who we are and what we're about and what people tell us like constantly from growing up. We learn to like believe that's who we are, and we begin to live life through that lens, and it's not always who we are. we're coming to realize more and more that we're allowing our children to be who they are without like us telling them what we believe they are. And so I began to like realize that I wasn't what people were telling me. I was something completely different. And so I learned to listen to that quiet voice inside and to really kind of honor that voice because that was me. That was me. And the more I learned to trust that voice, wow, I really realized that I loved myself for who I am, regardless of stigma, discrimination, the hate I was getting, including violence. I had a lot of violence thrown at me during those years of AIDS, like in the public, similar to so many like people around the world that are experiencing at the moment. I don't need to describe like all the global events that are happening. I think we're all very aware of what that is and how we feel about it. And so, you know, if we quiet our minds and recognize the stillness, whatever we ask ourselves, we already have the answers inside of us. They're just waiting to come to the surface. Sometimes it's challenging to really kind of be able to tap into that core being of who you are because of all the different layers of what you believe, the voices that you are hearing that maybe a parent, a loved one, maybe an ex, maybe somebody from your school, university, whatever it might be. But you know, you're hearing that part of yourself that um, continues to create for a negative self-talk, and it's about letting go of all of that and just allowing that that was in the past. It's not who I am at this very minute. And so, as a process of like continuing to like every day listen to what that voice is that you're hearing and going, all right, how does that serve me right now in this moment? Am I in a place of love? Am I peaceful? Am I calm? How am I like being impacted by what I'm experiencing? So what you're doing is you're becoming more centered in the process of like listening. Listening is really important. And so as you begin to like take the time to allow yourself all these things that I'm talking about, eventually you'll be able to really kind of um, be able to one, do some deep self love and to be able to like know that whatever it is you're experiencing and being able to separate what you're seeing, what you're feeling inside. So, you know, in a nutshell, I began that day standing in the lunchroom. I began the journey and relationship with me. I began to like work on a relationship with me because I didn't have one. I was being bombarded daily with family members who were stigmatizing me. At the time, we didn't have a word, but it was transphobia. And so it created for all these like experiences for me that, well, it was quite traumatizing. And it wasn't until later that I've been able to let all of that go and really get back to the core of who I am. But in the years in between all of that, I certainly was knowing the key. The keys are listening, it's intentional, it's believing, knowing that it's already been done. So it takes a bit of effort to really kind of be in touch. This isn't a cerebral experience. This is
Allow me
something
Allow me to
that's
allow me to
allow me to
echo for a
echo for a
second
second
and
and
bring
bring
our
our
co-host in here,
co-host in here,
Khaled, who
Khalid,
just
who just
came in
came
from
in from
Ankama.
Yakima.
Khaled, I'm going
Khalid,
to
I'm
turn
going
my
to turn
mic
my
off and
mic off and turn
turn the show
the
over
show
to you
over
and
to you and Shanique,
Shekinah,
Shekinah,
because
because
I got a
I'm
terrible, I
terrible. I
got a terrible
got a
echo.
terrible echo.
Hi, Khalid.
Um, Hi everyone,
Hi everyone,
I am
I'm
Khalid,
Khalid,
and
and
I'm
I'm
also known
also
as
known
Infinity.
as
And
Infinity,
yes,
and yes,
thank you,
thanks
my
to my
co-host, has been
co-host
doing
has been
something for
doing
me.
something for me.
And yes,
And
it feels so
yes, it
good
feels
having
so good
someone,
having someone
go back all the time, no matter what,
saying
doesn't
so it doesn't
fail.
fail
Because
because
you know what? And I
I
want to thank
want to
him
thank
again for
you again
taking my back
for my back
when I was
when
feeling.
I was feeling.
The problem here
The
is
problem
internet.
here is internet.
These are the days.
Yes.
So
So
we were
we were
you
you
guys
guys
were
were
talking.
talking
Yes,
yes
about
about
that.
that.
I don't know how
I
I'm
don't know.
gonna.
I'm going to
I'm gonna
suggest you do what
suggest you
I
do
do,
what I do,
Khalid.
Halid.
And thank
And
goodness
thank goodness
Shekinah is a
Shekinah is
very
a
good
very good
podcaster.
podcaster.
And I'm
And
just
I'm
turning
just
off my
turning off
mic
my
and I'm
mic and
letting
I'm
her
letting
run the
her run
show.
the
It's her
show. It's
show
her show
anyway.
anyway.
So we're just going to
We're
let
just
her
gonna let
tell her
her tell her
story.
story.
Okay?
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'll continue on. Um, so if we can just take a deep breath and then slowly exhale through the mouth. Okay, so let me get back into where I was at. So, standing in that lunchroom that day, I recognized and I asked for the universe to provide me with an occupation. I wanted to become self employed, to work for myself in the hours that I wanted to work because I wasn't able to do a full time job. And I wanted to do it tomorrow. Like literally, like I was done with this job. I couldn't tolerate it. It was so painful to be there. And within a week, I had become self employed, working as a contractor with many real estate agents in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, and Bel Air. And I was finding myself making money. And so from that, I started to manifest a job at Paramount Studios because one day I woke up and I went, I wonder what it's like to work at a studio. Knew a lot of people that were actors and actresses, and I wanted to work in the carpentry, the set development. I was really into that, and I went, boom. All of a sudden, I was working at Burbank Studios, working towards getting my union card and just loving being on location. But it's all about like asking, telling the universe what I wanted, and it's coming from my heart, not my head. Everything that we do to manifest things comes from our heart. This is something that is critical to like the universe hearing what it is that we want in our lives. And so it's about being specific, and with intention. Some people are in this room are familiar with SMART goals. It's similar to that, but the major difference is that you've got the mind body experience going on where you're creating it. You're actually in alignment with exactly what you want. Right now in this space, all three of us are manifesting $20,000 so that we can provide a safe location for LGBTQ people, queer people in Kakuma refugee camp in northwest Kenya. That's what we're doing. We're manifesting that, as well as for anyone who wants to resettle from East Africa in America. So, everyone on this call, if you were interested, you could certainly join us in manifesting that here in America. Um, but getting back to like how it's impacted me, like some of you know how involved in the HIV world I've been. I've gone through so many different states of being. I've been near death, I can't tell you how many times. And each time, it's the will to live, it's the intention, it's coming from my heart. And I keep coming back to be with all of you on this call. If I hadn't been using manifestation, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Seriously, that's not a cliche. I have used mindfulness and manifesting as a way to understand so much of like physical, mental well being, and a spirituality that all combines together to create for my experience. I have manifested everything that I'm doing right now in my life, and I am just thrilled to be here to be able to share with you about manifestation. It is such a joy to be able to um, share this with you because we're all capable of manifesting whatever it is we want in our lives. And think about this, if you start to walk around in your heart space all the all the time, and you're carrying that frequency of love, think of how many people are going to be impacted in your daily life when we take control over how we feel in every moment. People see a shift in us, they don't know what it's about. We get to share that with them. We can show the way. Bit by bit, we can change the world, folks. We will change the world just by showing up, being present in the moment, living through your heart space. You already have all the answers to everything you ever could need or want. Want is the key word there. So
I
I
love that
I love
word.
encourage.
that word.
I'm going to
I'm
jump
going
in
to
here
jump in
and
here
ask
and
a real
ask a
quick
real
question
quick
because
question because
I love
I love
talking.
talking.
It's driving
It's
me
driving
crazy
me
not to
crazy
be
not
able
to
to
be able
talk.
to talk.
But there's
But
a very
there's a very
powerful
powerful
statement.
statement.
And it's
It's
every
every
spiritual
spiritual
denomination says
denomination
this.
says this.
Be
Be
still
still
and
and
know
know
I am
I am
God.
God.
Get to
Get
know
to know
in the
in the
first
first
person,
person
in the
in the
present
present
tense. What
tense.
does
What
that
does that
mean?
mean?
Be
Be
still and
still
know
and
that
know that know,
not
not
think, but
think, but
know
know
that I am
that I am
God.
God.
Up close
Up
and
close and
personal,
personal,
first
first
person
person
and
and
present
present
tense.
tense.
What is
What is
you're on this
you're on
subject? I
this
want to
subject? I
just
want to just
drill that
drill
down.
that
We've
down.
all
We've
heard that
all heard that
expression in our
expression in
lifetime.
our lifetime.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, it's absolutely true. And, um, our lives get better when we are so connected to us, when we know ourselves as we are. We are love. That's who we are. And so, I know that many of you know a little bit about me. And the one thing that you resonate with me is my love. I ooze love every day and wherever I am. And everything I do always comes from that place of love. I may not understand everything. I may not have all the answers. I don't have to. But I can still be a being of love and a force of love and allowing for others to feel love. You know, fear is a lack of love. And so many people live currently in the moment of like so much fear, and everything changes and shifts if we allow ourselves to let go of all of that that doesn't serve us, because it's just there to remind us of the past or the future, and it stops us from being in the now. Khaled, I know that you're the host, but I'm gonna ask you
Okay.
a question. How
Yeah.
has
I also wanted to ask a question.
sure?
Shekinah, you're an amazing person because ever since I met you, I've just known you not that long, but I have. It's little time that I've known you, but I know I meet you every day. We meet every day, and there are very many things that I've learned from you. And everything that I've learned, I just want to ask one question. I want the world to know, or people that we want to understand what manifestation is. This question is, how do you feel after you manifest? I want you to express the feeling for them to know. If I manifest, there's that feeling I get.
Yeah,
I want to know that feeling.
for me, after I've like put something out to the universe to manifest and I've let it go, it's 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 a tremendous feeling inside for me. It's it's contentment and knowing that it'll come, and I don't have to worry about like whatever it is that I might have been like trying to manifest. You know, if I say I want $200 in my bank account by the end of the week, it'll arrive. And I feel good knowing that the universe is providing what I want. And, it's also the developing of the trust in the belief that it's already there. And through the constant, like, manifestation every day. I'm master manu- uh, uh, a master manifester, and so all day long I'm creating whatever it is that I want, and it elevates my frequency. Now, when I say frequency, it's how I feel. Like I feel joyful. I feel positive about life and living. There's nothing about my experience that would lend itself to being in a lower state of being, which is fear. I'm in a state of love. And so um, it's oneness. It's truly like being connected with Source, however you identify that, God, Allah, what a tree, however you identify that, that's the oneness that I walk around with after manifesting. And I just churn it out, keep it going. I know that some of the people in this room know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen how much I've manifested in just this year alone, and it's been pretty incredible. And each step of the way, I am just in awe of how much joy I experience. So I think that's quite a bit there, Khalid.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know whoever has had this is start manifesting from now. Yes, because I'm also an example of a person. I got to know how to manifest. And what we can say about manifestation is not you don't manifest what you manifest. You don't say you need. I remember that. When you're manifesting, you want, you do want, and manifestation requires patience, and manifestation requires joy, and you have to feel your manifestation. That is what I know. I'm not talking about Africa, in East Africa, because that amazing man, my teacher, my boss, and lastly, my father. He always taught me very many things, and I always learn from him. But this one, I'm going to give it to you. You're the one that taught me manifestation is what impact it has brought. And I want to really thank you because learning from should I call it an influence, a leader in Africa. You may not be enough. You're leading. The same way my dad is leading. You know, Africa. Like we are going to look at in years. We already looking at even being, you know, and all that. There's a way you feel attached to Africa. Because the knowledge you give us, the people have it and we can give it to us. But you two amazing people come out and you don't ask for a real one. You're doing it Africa. See that they can change their lives. They can have a million minds. You know. Well, when we are manifesting, our genius, the company and everything, we have one guy called Geoffrey. He always himself the youngest billionaire. Because you already put that mind in him. He already believes he's a young billionaire. You know? So that is what you do. You make someone feel he's already that. That's what manifestation does. It already makes you feel like you want $200. Yes. You already feel that $200 in your. Yeah, it's you just missing one. It's already. And thank you so much. I love whatever you always and everything you always tell us. And I love my because we wouldn't let the world miss. And in Africa because they have knowledge. They say old knowledge is wisdom. So I would say something about manifestation. I really want to really understand. To be honest, Africans also do. That's what my boss they always pay. So we want to take that. Thank you.
Shall we take a few questions? Or
Yeah, if you got a question, yeah, it's a great idea. Since it's so difficult for Khaled now to speak without an echo. If anybody has a question, just type it into the chat.
this is something that once you understand how it works for you, it's a feeling thing. And when you're able to like manifest, it's a feeling that you get in touch with. Internally, you'll know exactly what that is. And you'll go, that's what Shekinah was talking about. when all of that happens, there's something that's internalized that you may never have experienced before because you're feeling who you are, like truly who you are, and you're asking for what you want with intention, believing it's already done. So you can repeat it over and over and over and over again. And I can't I could share all day all the kinds of things I've manifested into my life. You know, there was a time when sitting in a park in Northwest Pennsylvania, growing up as a child, I can remember quietly sitting and saying to the universe, I want to live in a foreign country. Well, I lived in Australia, became an Australian, and I lived there for 15 years. So when I got there, I knew that I had manifested that years ago, and it was just divine time. The universe delivers it because you've already asked for it. It may not be in your time. So, you know, anything's possible if you just allow yourself the opportunity to have it and believe it and feel it. So I don't know where we would like to go from here. How much do we have? Another half hour? Is that what it is?
We are at
We
the
are
half
at the
hour.
half hour.
We are at the
We are
half
at the
hour
half hour
now.
now.
So we
So we
typically go for
typically go
half
for half
hour,
hour,
and I think
and I
given
think
some of
given
the
some of the
technical
technical
stuff, we're all
stuff,
kind
we're
of
all kind of
exhausted from
exhausted
trying
from
to
trying
figure
to
out how
figure
to
out
make
how to
this
make this
work
work
inside
Yeah.
of an
inside
echo
of an echo
chamber.
chamber.
We did a
We
good
did a good
job,
job,
and it let
and
us
it
give
let us
you
give
the
you the
highlight like we
highlight like
wanted
we
to give
wanted
the
to give the
spotlight.
spotlight.
Okay,
But
I
But
appreciate that.
yeah, if
yeah,
anybody's
if
got a
anybody's got a
question, please
question,
ask your
please ask your
questions, and then
questions, and then
we'll
maybe
sign
we'll
out. But
sign
thank
out.
you
But
so
thank
much
you
for
so much
joining
for
us
joining us
today.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Thank you for
joining us,
joining us,
and
and
I want to say
I want to say
something to the
something
world.
to the world.
Like
Uh,
like
like
the way
the
we
way
are
we are
manifesting
manifesting
$20,000 to
$20,000
build
to
our
build
own
our own
planetary
factory
in the
in
camp.
the camp.
Don't
Just
forget, please,
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 please, please.
please,
Um, you can go
you
to
can
our
go to our
website
website
and
and
donate. I
donate.
think
I
you
think
can
you
sit
can
down
sit
there.
down there.
You can see scrolling the
Scrolling the
website
website
because
because
this
this
each dollar
each
that
dollar
you
that you
donate,
donate,
it saves a
it
life
saves a life
from
from
whatever
whatever
person is
person
having.
having.
You know,
You know,
each
each
dollar that
dollar
you
that you
donate,
donate,
it
it
saves a
saves
life.
a life.
So
So
don't forget
don't forget
to
to
save
save
a life,
a life,
and
and
then
then
don't
don't
also have
also
a
have a
meditation
meditation
every
every
single
single
morning. That
morning.
is the
That is the
Western
Western
side.
right
When
when
the
the
African
African
side
side
is like in the
in the
afternoon,
afternoon,
we want
we want
the whole
the
world
whole
to
world
join
to
in
join in
the meditation
meditation
and
and
everything, so
everything
that you don't
so that you
miss.
don't
You
miss.
guys are
You guys
missing.
are missing.
There's
That's
something
there's
you're not
something you're not
getting. There's
doing.
something
There's
that
something
the things that you have
that
to
you have
get and
to
know
know
for free.
you know,
Because
because
we want
we
to
want
pay
to
back
pay
what
back what
we
we
have gotten.
have.
The
The
universe
universe
blessing us
blessing
with
us
knowledge. People like
people like
Shekinah,
Latina,
people like
people like
Martin
Martin
Cowart.
Howard.
Oh, I must
Oh,
say
I must
Cowart.
say Coward.
Like me
Like
also,
me also,
I'm a Cowart.
Coward.
And
And
yes, I got
yes, I got
to
to
learn
learn
a lot of
a
things
lot of
from
things from
Cowart.
Coward.
For the little
For the
time
little
that I
time that I
spent with
spent with
Shekinah, I
Shekinah,
think
I
my
think
dad
my dad
is so
is
proud
so
of me.
proud of
And
me.
we used
He used
Shekinah's
Shekinah's
technique,
technique,
and
and
now I
now I
feel
feel
everything is so
everything is so
amazing. So
amazing.
please,
So
please,
please,
please do
do
manifest. And
manifest.
if you
And
want to
if you
know
want
more
to know
about
more about
manifestation,
manifestation,
you can
you can
join
join
us.
us
And
and
Shekinah
Shekinah
if you want people to contact you, you can tell them how can they find you, how can they contact you, how can they get you when they need you. I think Shekinah can help us tell us how they can find you. Thank you.
I'm on Facebook, Shekinah Rose. I'm on Instagram, Shekinah Rose. And anyone can contact me on ShekinahRose99@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have had. You can contact us on yes. If you want to know more about the Diamond Project, if you want to know about the meditation and the time, you can contact us on Instagram. It's Diamond sorry. On Instagram, Diamond Mind Academy, and on Facebook, it's the same. Yes, that's what we have now. And, we don't want to miss the chance of saving a life because we have saved a life. Please, you save a life. Don't forget. You are the universe. We are the universe. And they are all whoever is around. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.